Friends, in last session of professional practices course, we have discussed about various topics like estimation, contracts, tendering process, and in last session we have discussed about the concept of valuation, concept of depreciation, obsolescence, various methods for calculating depreciation like straight line method, sinking fund method. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss another methods for calculation depreciation. Myself, R.V. Chuptar, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. In previous lecture, we have discussed about straight line method for depreciation calculation and sinking fund method for depreciation calculation. In this session, we are going to study the another methods for calculating depreciation. This method is constant percentage method. In this method, it is assumed that the property will lose its value by a constant percentage of its value at the beginning of every year. In this method, the annual depreciation can be calculated by formula D is equal to 1 minus S upon C raised to 1 upon N, where C is original cost of the property, S is scrap value after useful life, N is life of property, that is useful lifespan in years, and D is the annual depreciation cost. The next method is quantity survey method. In this method, the property is studied in detail and loss in value due to life, wear and tear, decay, obsolescence, etc. are worked out. Each and every step is based on some logical ground without any fixed percentage of the cost on the property. There are different forms of value like market value, book value, scrap value, salvage value, accommodation value, distress value, monopoly value, replacement value, investment value, sentimental value, speculative value, annual value, potential values, occupational value, and present value. Each and every type or form of value has different meaning, and we are going to see the meaning of each and every term of the value. Market value. The market value of the property is the amount which can be obtained at any particular time from the open market. If the property is put for sale, the market value will differ from time to time according to demand of that particular property and supply. The next type of value is book value. Book value is the amount shown in the account book after allowing necessary depreciation. The book value of property at a particular year is the original cost minus the amount of depreciation allowed per year and will be gradually reduced year to year, and at the end of the utility period of property the book value will be only scrap value. The next value is scrap value. Scrap value may be defined as the value of materials on dismantled buildings after its useful life without any use. After the completion of utility period, the dismantled materials such as steel, timber, brick and furniture will fetch a certain amount which is called as scrap value of building. Scrap value of building is taken about 10% of its total cost of construction. Next value is salvage value. The value of building at the end of utility period without being dismantled is called the salvage value. Another example is machine after the completion of its useful span may be sold or purchased by someone other for his fruitful use. The sale value of that machine is called as salvage value. There is a slight difference between scrap value and salvage value. In salvage value, the machine may be in working condition for the other person, but in scrap value, the fruitful life or utility period of that particular equipment is over and it is of no use and it is sold after dismantling totally. Distress value. In case of property is sold at the lower price than the market value at that time, it is said to be have distress value. The distress value is because of many reasons like the need of money or any other problem, the financial problems l- or property problems, etc. The next is a monopoly value. In some cases, the property possesses certain advantages with respect to adjoining property due to location, size, shape, etc. The owner may demand fancy price. Such value of property is known as monopoly value. Means sometimes the property is same as of other properties having same size or same type, but due to some advantages due to adjoining properties, some development in the nearby area like uh, malls, theaters, multiplexes, or shopping complexes, or any other facilities like gardens, basic amenities, the amount or value of property goes on increasing, and it is the value which is decided by owner by his mind only, and that value is therefore called as monopoly value. Replacement value. It is the present value of the property or portion thereof if these have to be replaced at the current market rates. The next type of value is investment value. It is the value of property indicates the amount offered by the prudent purchaser by keeping in view the advantages of possessing the property from investment point of view. Sentimental value. When a property is sold or purchased at higher value than the market value due to paying of sentiments in mind of the advantages of possessing the property from investment point of view, means sometimes the property is having some sentiments with owner, and due to that sentiments the property value goes on increasing due to his sentimental attachment with that particular property, and in that case the value of property is higher than the current value of property. Annual value. The local authority has to decide the annual value of the property so that taxes can be calculated on that basis. Such annual value of the property has to be fixed by observing the principles of rating valuation. Next value of property is potential value. When the property is capable of fetching more return due to alternative use of the advantageous planning or by providing some development work is known as potential value. Annuity. What is annuity? Annuity is the annual periodic payments for repayment of the capital amount invested by the party. These payments are either paid at the end of year or at start of the year. Year's purchase. Year's purchase is defined as the capital sum required to be invested in order to receive a net annual income as the annuity of rupee 1 at fixed rate of interest. The capital sum should be 1 into 100 divided by rate of interest. Thus, to gain an annual income of rupees X at fixed rate of interest, the capital sum should be X into 100 upon rate of interest. But 100 upon rate of interest is termed as years of purchase. Suppose the rate of interest is 5% per annum. One has to deposit rupees 100 to get the 5 per annum. Now to get rupees 1 he has to deposit 100 divided by 5 is equal to 20 per annum. Therefore, year purchase can be calculated by dividing 100 divided by rate of interest, that is 1 divided by I. In case of life of property is anticipated to be short and the account the accumulation of sinking fund, the interest on income of the property to replace capital, the year's purchase is suitably reduced. Year purchase in that case will be 1 upon I plus SF. Example for calculating year's purchase. Calculate the value of year purchase for the property if the life of is 20 years and the rate of interest is 5%. For sinking fund, the rate of interest is 4.5%. Here, value of R is 5%, I is 4.5%. Year purchase can be calculated by formula 1 upon I plus SF. Coefficient of sinking fund is SF, which can be calculated by formula I upon 1 plus I raised to n minus 1, which is equal to 0.0319. Now, year's purchase is equal to 1 upon 0.5 plus 0.0319, which is equal to 12.21. Capitalized value. The capitalized value of property is the amount of money whose annual interest at the highest prevailing rate of the interest will be equal to the net income from the property. To determine the capitalized value of property, it is required to know the net income from the property and the highest prevailing rate of interest. Capitalized value is equal to net income into year's purchase. Example for finding out the capitalized value is a building has a money rent of 1500. Total outgoings are 20% of gross rent. Rate of interest on capital is 8%. Find the capitalized value of building. Monthly rent is 1500. Annual rent is 15 into 1500 is equal to 18,000 rupees. Outgoing are 20 into 18,000, which is equal to 3,600 rupees. I is the percentage interest is 8%, and year purchase can be calculated by 1 upon I, that is 12.5. Now capitalized value can be calculated by net income into year's purchase, that is equal to 14,400 into 12.5, which is equal to 1,80,000 rupees. The valuation methods for property and land. The following are the different methods for valuation for property and land. Rental method of valuation, valuation based on profit, development method, land and building based method. Now in next lecture we will discuss about